All right.
It's a clip, huh?
Are you sure?
Impromptu commentary time. I wasn't planning on coming up here and doing a commentary this week because I am full steam ahead on the 100 question Q&A for the end of the year that I'm right on schedule for, but I've still got a lot to do, and I'm just focusing all my energy on that. But I figured I'd come up here and give a few thoughts on what we're looking at right now currently in the WWE as far as a couple of storylines go, namely the big TLC match for, I guess, the unification of the world title and the WWE title between John Cena and Randy Orton. Now, I want to give my thoughts on it because there is a ton of internet chatter. There's a lot of people pissed off about the match, and I'm going to discuss a little bit about what I agree and disagree with as far as people's problems with this match goes. Now, of course, the number one problem that everybody has with this match, that it is John Cena versus Randy Orton, and I constantly get the comment, what is this, 2009? There's a whole bunch of matches that take place every fucking week on Raw between two guys that also wrestled in 2009. That's a stupid fucking argument. The WWE runs 3 television shows a week and 13 pay-per-views per year. John Cena and Randy Orton are going to cross paths when they're both so heavily pushed the way they are. And if you ask me, it's been a long time since these guys have even wrestled. So I don't understand why that's even a big deal. I do understand we've seen this match a million times. Yes, we have, because wasn't there that one streak there where John Cena and Randy Orton wrestled on like fucking 45 pay-per-views in a row or something like that? So I understand completely the argument that we've seen it a bunch of times. But you know why that is? Because both guys have been in the WWE for so long. If Stone Cold and The Rock would have had the careers the same length as The Rock and John Cena, they would have been wrestling all the time too. And if Stone Cold and The Rock were to have a match this year, what are you going to say? Oh, what is this, 2001? So don't blame John Cena and Randy Orton's ability to stay injury-free and hard-working and heavily pushed and well-liked by the WWE for whatever reason. You know, they've been able to have long careers and build really good legacies for themselves, where Stone Cold, unfortunately, was injured, you know, had to retire a little bit early. Rock was bitten by the actor bug and took off for Hollywood. Circumstances have stopped other big stars in the past from having long careers, which is probably why so many fans love those guys so much, because they weren't overdone. They weren't there so long that they wore out their welcome. But John Cena and Randy Orton both, from the time they were in WWE developmental, the WWE had big plans for those guys right from the start. They wanted to make big stars out of those guys. They were able to make big stars out of those guys. And some of the smarter fans, you know, that have been around a little longer or grew up during the Attitude Era or like better wrestling or remember when, you know, wrestling was a little bit better and stars were a little bit more over, of course they're going to hate guys like Randy Orton and John Cena, because to them nothing can ever be better than what they remember during their glory days. But like it or not, if the WWE is going to have a match that they are billing as one of the biggest matches in the history of the company, and it's a match that's going to unify the 2 titles, no matter how much you like anybody on the roster, you have to take those blinders off and say, honestly, whether you like it or not, these are the 2 guys that actually do need to be in this match as far as the current WWE roster goes. If they're trying to unify the titles, make both belts meaningful and unify them into one super meaningful title, of course you're going to have to pick 2 of the guys that have the best legacies on the roster. You cannot have, I'm sorry, as much as I love them, you cannot have a world title and WWE title unification with CM Punk and Daniel Bryan. You can't do that. That's not what the WWE wants. That might be what some of the fans want, but that's not what the WWE feels is best for business. This whole storyline is a fucking work shoot. So you can hate John Cena and Randy Orton all you want, but when you look at their legacies, if the WWE is trying to unify their titles, they probably do want 2 guys like this to unify the titles. When you look back in WWE history as the guys that were the last 2 guys to hold, you know, a certain title before they were unified, John Cena and Randy Orton are pretty much who the WWE feels most comfortable having sketched in their record books. Now, what I agree with the complainers on, like I agree with them that this match has happened a million times, I agree with them on that. You know, why would you want to see it again? I also agree with the fact that it makes no fucking sense that the WWE is trying to book and build a match that they're calling the biggest match in the history of the WWE in 3 fucking weeks. We didn't even know this was going to happen until the Survivor Series main event. They never teased this or made us think that this could happen, and sure as hell wouldn't happen in December. I thought that maybe when John Cena won the world title, a unification match could take place at WrestleMania 30, and I mentioned that in previous commentaries. Now, if they would have just waited a while and ran the same angle angle and just done it at the Royal Rumble where John Cena comes out and gets in the ring with whoever the champion is and maybe lead to a unification match at WrestleMania, I thought that would be better. And I think it's kind of foolish for WWE to try to pull a match off of this significance at a pay-per-view, that one of these in-between pay-per-views, especially December, and it's a TLC match, that's not even a conventional match. It's going to be decided in a fucking ladder match, and they're trying to build all of this just in 3 weeks' time. I agree with anybody that says that that's fucking weird, and here's why. Maybe this is going to stretch out. I mentioned in my last commentary that I would not be surprised at all if the WWE goes with some sort of an ending that's unresolved, like we get a finish like we had at Night of Champions or Battleground, where basically nothing is decided, and we could either have, maybe the titles are held up, maybe they're vacated again, and maybe the winner of the Royal Rumble becomes a new undisputed champion. I remember when Undertaker and Hulk Hogan kind of had the schmaz finish at Tuesday in Texas, where Hulk Hogan won the WWE title, but it was under, shady circumstances. So Jack Tunney held up the title and said, the winner of the Royal Rumble is going to become the new WWE champion. Ric Flair is the guy that won that Royal Rumble. But the cool thing was, I remember a little stipulation in the Royal Rumble where the Undertaker and Hulk Hogan got to draw from the numbers 15 through 30. So maybe if they do some sort of funky finish with John Cena and Randy Orton, where, they have to hold up the titles and the Royal Rumble winner becomes the new champion, maybe they could do something where Cena and Orton get to draw from those late numbers or something like that. And another possibility, what is now, I've seen now on the internet, and I think a lot of fans have thought of the same scenario as what I mentioned last week, and what if both guys come down off the ladder with a belt? Maybe they grab their own belts and both fall off the ladder. Maybe they grab each other's belts, and the titles change hands, and you've got two title changes, and both guys remain champions in the same match. That's a pretty fucking unique scenario. The problem is now a lot of fans are thinking of that, and the WWE trying to pull that off might be a little bit predictable, but I do see them doing something to where the eventual unification of the two titles does stretch out a little further. And to be honest with you, I don't want the unification match to happen at TLC. This is the first time where I do want an unresolved main event finish, because I hope the WWE does something stupid and stretches this out, because this isn't the platform for this. A lot of you fans have defended TLC to me. These pay-per-views have been pretty good in previous years. Yeah, maybe they have. I don't even remember. That's fine. The pay-per-view can be as good as it wants, but TLC just doesn't seem like the pay-per-view that you want to go down in your record books that signifies a moment this big. This needs to happen at fucking Survivor Series or WrestleMania or Royal Rumble or something like that. Not TLC. Hey, I know 12 years ago the same thing happened at the December pay-per-view with Chris Jericho. He beat The Rock and Stone Cold in one night. And if the WWE does unify these titles with the John Cena and Randy Orton match, that could open the door wide open for Chris Jericho to come back and say, hey, I was the real undisputed champion. I was the first guy to combine two titles until the WWE changed their mind and brought one of them back. And maybe Jericho can come back and feud for the belt, or at least have a match for one. Not at WrestleMania, but just maybe, I don't know, a pay-per-view match or something high profile. So really, we're looking at a lot of different scenarios and possibilities for TLC, which I guess is exciting because I'm really curious how the WWE is going to pull off this supposed biggest match in WWE history with such little build and such a meaningless pay-per-view. And fuck, next week is the Slammy Awards. WWE Raw is going to be so consumed with handing out these little fucking trophies that they might forget all about that it's the go-home show to the pay-per-view, with the WWE and world title supposedly going to be unified on this pay-per-view. So they better fucking get their acts together and get some sort of momentum going that will make the fans actually want to buy this thing. And hopefully I'll be home to watch it. I'll be up live tweeting about it, and it'll be really interesting to see what direction they go. But another thing I want to say about this match to the haters of it, that are complaining so badly that this match doesn't contain Daniel Bryan or CM Punk, you should be happy that the WWE is fucking doing this now instead of WrestleMania. Would you have rather seen John Cena versus Randy Orton and the two titles be unified in the WrestleMania main event? Is that what you wanted? If you ask me, having John Cena and Randy Orton have a couple of matches in the next couple of months is much better than having them have a match at WrestleMania. So at least if the WWE insists on having these guys cross paths again, it's at this time of the year and it's not even going to be something too significant. And thankfully, we know now, most likely anyway, I suppose that Cena and Orton could still wrestle at WrestleMania 30, but I doubt it. So at least we can scratch that off the list of possibilities, because I don't know if the fans would really want to see that. If the WWE gave us Cena Orton at WrestleMania 30, we're going to hear some serious bitching. What the fuck is this, 2009, this and that? So this is just the December pay-per-view. Let it go. There's an endless fucking road of pay-per-views ahead of you that you probably will not see this match. You might see it at the Royal Rumble. You might even see them interact at Elimination Chamber or whatever the hell it is in February. But it'll be over in a couple of months. Just wait it the fuck out. And then, if you'll just be patient, I'm not completely giving up hope on Daniel Bryan. I think the WWE is just, I mean, this is what soap operas do. I mean, they fucking drag shit out, make you wait and wait and wait and wait sometimes for the ultimate culmination. And maybe, just maybe, these fans that are so horny for Daniel Bryan, he had a taste of the WWE title. The WWE is making it seem like they're wronging him and they're burying him. Oh, Triple H is burying Daniel Bryan. Have you noticed that Daniel Bryan's been winning all his fucking matches on TV? He's involved with the Wyatt family, who seems to have a connection to the Authority. You know, he's still in the mix there. So if John Cena and Randy Orton need to have this fucking unification match, let them. What the fuck do you care? Hang tight, because Daniel Bryan, if you let those guys have this match now, Daniel Bryan and CM Punk are right back in this mix. You got the Royal Rumble coming up. You got WrestleMania 30 coming up, where you know WWE, is going to try to have big plans for everybody. And there's no way you're going to see fucking Daniel Bryan working the pre-show at WrestleMania 30. Relax. He's going to be in a high-profile match, and he just may be in a title match. But judging from the way Daniel Bryan is being used on TV, he is still in the mix, and the WWE is kind of holding him off to the side until they're ready to bring him back into the picture. In the meantime, he's winning matches. He's involved in a feud right now with a faction that's highly profiled that the fans really like. Everybody likes the Wyatt family. It could be done better. I'll definitely give you that. They kidnapped Daniel Bryan a couple weeks ago on Raw, and then last week on Raw they had a match between the whatever fucking Harper or is it Rowan and Daniel Bryan. So, to me, if you get kidnapped, and they do something fucked up to you, you need to have more than a match. I would have liked to see them, have footage of Daniel Bryan fucking locked up in a room somewhere. Or just keep Daniel Bryan off TV for a week, just to keep it real. Hey, he was kidnapped, nobody really knows what happened to him when he was gone, but, WWE's giving him a week off to, fucking deal with, what he had to go through or whatever. Just something, to keep it a little bit real. He comes right back on TV, back to normal, like nothing ever fucking happened, has a match and wins. Bray Wyatt seems like he's trying to recruit Daniel Bryan into joining the Wyatt family. I don't know why, because he has a beard. I guess he would fit right in as far as appearance goes, but I don't know why he's trying to get Daniel Bryan to join the Wyatt family, and I don't know if the WWE would really want to go with a Daniel Bryan heel turn right now. I can see that happening in the future. Daniel Bryan turning heel, could be a great swerve in the future, especially if he comes so close and tries to win the title and he just can't overcome the odds, and finally he throws his arms up and says, hey, if I can't beat him, join him. Something like that in the future I think could be pretty good, but for the time being, he's way too over as a babyface. The crowd is yesing their asses off. It makes for a great atmosphere on Raw, and I don't think the WWE wants to lose that. I enjoy Daniel Bryan as a face right now, but eventually we're going to have to think about Daniel Bryan being a bad guy again. Now, I'm wondering by the time WrestleMania 30 rolls around if we're going to have the one title, if the unification match stretches out past TLC, maybe it happens at the Royal Rumble, maybe it happens at the Chamber, who knows, but if the WWE is going to try to have a unification match right now in December, I don't see any way that they could stretch this out till WrestleMania. So I expect by the time WrestleMania 30 gets here, us to have one champion. And if that's what we have is one champion, how sweet would it be to have CM Punk face Daniel Bryan for that championship? And then all those other big stars, the Undertakers, the Brock Lesnars, the John Cenas, possibly the Hulk Hogans, the Triple H's, maybe the Rocks, any of those guys that come back, they can all have matches with each other with no belts involved or anything like that, and you can have Daniel Bryan and CM Punk, probably the two most over in-ring workers in the company, other than, Dolph Ziggler, who the WWE doesn't even acknowledge exists anymore. To me, that Daniel Bryan and CM Punk match just might be worth waiting for. But then again, it might not happen at all. CM Punk could face Brock Lesnar. CM Punk could face Triple H. That's what we're looking at now. According to CM Punk's promo last week on Raw, it looks like he's going to be starting something with Triple H, and the whole Triple H Big Show angle has been dropped. As much as we hated Randy Orton versus the Big Show, what would be worse? Triple H versus the Big Show. So at least that's done away with now, and CM Punk and Triple H could be rekindling this fire that they had, 2.5 years ago in 2011. And I love having CM Punk go up against the Authority. You see, sometimes it's not all about belts. Sometimes it's about what storyline might interest you the most. And I would much rather see CM Punk, involved on the mic mic with Triple H and Stephanie and saying all the things that he could possibly say than him being on the other side of the ladder match with John Cena for the unified title. Fuck that. Keep CM Punk doing what he's doing, because it's going to be good. And if he's going to wind up feuding with Triple H, and Triple H is going to be pulling out all of his little tricks, using guys like the Shield to do his dirty work, this could lead to something pretty good between CM Punk and Triple H, and that could be a pretty big time match. And don't even give me, what is it, 2011? Fuck you. And there's also a big difference, by the way, for all you motherfuckers out there. There's a big difference between me mentioning John Cena's name and defending John Cena. Good mic work. All you ever do is talk about John Cena. Look, motherfucker, I come up here and do commentaries every week on current storylines in the WWE. John Cena is involved in the main storyline in WWE. It is impossible for me to do a commentary and not talk about him unless he's injured. Go back and listen to my commentaries from August through October when he was gone. I don't even know if I uttered John Cena's name one time. Your adolescent ears only hear what they want to hear, and when Good Mic Work mentions John Cena's name, that must automatically mean that he's defending him. Wrong. Listen to what I am saying to you. Shit, in the commentary that I'm doing right now, was I really heavily defending John Cena? I don't think I was. All I was doing was saying this is what the WWE does. Don't blame John Cena, blame the WWE. The WWE are the ones pushing him. The WWE are the ones that want him on top. John Cena isn't doing anything except his job. I say don't be pissed off at the Cena and Orton match at TLC. You know why? Because you shouldn't be pissed off. Unfortunately, if you're going to have a unification match, biggest match in the history of the WWE, according to them, whether you like it or not, those are the two motherfuckers that need to be in it. That's not defending John Cena. That's stating the fucking truth. That image of what the WWE sees as their face of their company is never going to change. So if you want to watch wrestling and you want to watch the WWE, you're going to have to understand that this is the type of shit they do. It's never going to be any other way. All right, since this entire commentary has just been about the unification title match between John Cena and Randy Orton and a little bit of CM Punk and Daniel Bryan thrown in as well, the rest of TLC looks like it's shaping up. We got an Intercontinental title match added to the card. Big E Langston defends against Damian Sandow, who won a #1 contenders match on Raw against Dolph Ziggler. Now, one thing about this match that interested me is that both of these guys are on a push right now. It seems like the WWE likes Damian Sandow. They were very impressed with him after the match that he had with John Cena. It seems like they have big future plans for him. But it also seems like they have big future plans for Big E. Now, I would think a fresh champion like Big E Langston, a guy that they're trying to make a star, you would think that they would line up some schmucks for him to defeat at Raws and pay-per-views for the next few months, but instead, they're putting another guy in the ring with him that they also want to push. So now you have to wonder who wins this match and what happens to the other guy after the match. Is Big E going to just, squash Damian Sandow and continue on his run? Or is Damian Sandow going to take the title off of him and then they have a few rematches? Or maybe Big E just beats Damian, but Damian still gets a few rematches, out of it anyway. We're also looking at 2 handicap matches for TLC. I did not mention these 2 matches when I talked about Daniel Bryan and CM Punk earlier on, but Daniel Bryan's got to go into a 3-on-1 handicap match against the Wyatt family. CM Punk's got to go into a 3-on-1 match against the Shield. Now, you have to wonder that this is going to, who's going to help out who here and what kind of finish are they going to do for these, but this is more, like I said before, the corporation, or the authority, trying to fuck over Daniel Bryan and CM Punk, and I'm telling you, if you just pay attention to the storyline, that's going to pay off for you in the future. I think AJ is also defending the title against Natalya, a fucking Divas match, who cares, and I don't know what else they have planned for TLC. So the next time I'm going to come up here will probably be the Raw after TLC, after the fallout happens, after we find out what happened at the pay-per-view and what they do on Raw about it, and what we're looking at heading into the Royal Rumble, and if we have 1 champion, 2 champions, or no champions. Either way, I'm excited to see how it goes. So, thank you very much for listening. Leave everything you agree or disagree with below. If you want to call me a cocksucking John Cena defending ass kisser, then go right ahead and type away. Don't forget to hit that caps lock button, and I appreciate the view. I'll be talking to you in a couple of weeks. Peace.